What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Servant Real, right here on Servant King TV. I'm your host, the Servant King, and today, y'all, I'm back with another special guest, like I always tell y'all each week. And this lady here is a serial entrepreneur. I promise y'all, I done got in touch with Kamala Harris before I got in touch with Miss Clinton. But we've been kind of going back and forth for a while now. She is financially savvy. We're gonna be talking about her journey into entrepreneurship, into being financially independent. We're gonna talk about her bankiversary that she just celebrated.
Yes.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about all that. So without further ado, Miss Danielle Clayton, how you doing today?
I am good. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. So before I get into the BYOB, because that's what I really want to spend a lot of time on. I think that's important for us. But you're also a real estate agent.
Mm-hmm.
So let's kind of get into the beginning, right? Where you from, how you raised, what kind of got you into that first mindset of, let me get into real estate?
Okay. So, yes, Danielle Clayton, born and raised here in Jacksonville, Florida, as a matter of fact. And, I started real estate in 2018.
Okay.
And it came as a result of me being fired from my job at Amazon where I was a manager. Don't be sad for me because I was happy. That was like one of the best things that happened.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm dead serious. Because I have always been one of those type of individuals that have been looking, right?
Okay.
So, I mean, from the time I got out of high school up until 2018, I would change jobs like clockwork.
Okay.
And they would be even good jobs.
Right.
But I wasn't fulfilled and I wasn't satisfied.
Right.
So, yes, I would love them and leave them.
Okay.
Yes, I would love them and leave them.
Okay.
But, with real estate, I've always wanted, to do it, and I always had, like, a passion and desire for it, but I just didn't know how to go about it.
Okay.
So I actually came across a young lady on Facebook, and she's well-known here in Jacksonville as well, too. She has a brokerage, and I reached out to her and asked her if she would mentor me, and she immediately took me under her wings.
Okay.
And that same year, maybe like 5-6 months later, 2018, I got my real estate license.
Okay.
And also, as soon as I got licensed, I had my first contract. And so then it was like, it's such a blessing because business just came in.
Right, okay.
And before doing real estate, I've always wanted to launch out onto my own, like I said, but I just didn't know how.
Right.
Yeah. And so, it's just been a blessing, I'm not going to say I stopped because I have not, I still have, greater dreams and goals with real estate, but, the pandemic actually has kind of caused me to put a pin in it because of my home life. I have 2 small children.
Okay.
Yes.
So you had to kind of make a shift. Okay.
I had to make that shift. Before then, I would have my little one. He was like 2 and 3 at the time, and I'm taking him around showing houses.
Right.
So it can be done. It's just in how bad do you want something.
Right.
So I had my kids everywhere with me. Open houses, all of that.
Right.
Even at a closing table.
Gotcha.
I had my son with me.
Wow. Okay. Really hustling though.
Hey, that's what it's all about.
Right.
Yep.
So now you say you wanted to get in real estate. You wasn't sure how. Is this something? Take me to Miss Clayton coming from high school into adulthood. Is college on your mind? Is being a business owner, finding a good job? What's that like though? That phase when going into the real world. Is real estate on your mind then, or you haven't reached that part yet?
So I just knew I wanted to make money.
Right.
I wanted my own money.
Right. Okay.
And I did that. I went to school, got 2 degrees.
Okay.
But all that left me with was just student loan debt. And like I said, I knew that I wanted to make money. I knew that I wanted that freedom, but I just did not know how to go about doing it.
Okay.
And even before real estate, I've tried different direct sales things.
Right, all the different little MLMs. Yeah. All right, I got you.
Yes, I've tried all of that, and it just wasn't for me.
Okay.
It wasn't for me.
Let me ask you that, because a lot of time in our culture, especially in today's time, I think a lot of people, especially our generation, they're kind of stepping out into entrepreneurship, but we didn't grow up so much seeing it. Did you grow up, did you have a household full of entrepreneurs, or did you have people that you've seen employed, and you said, I don't want to go that route. How did entrepreneurship end up being what hit you and say, this is how I'm going to make money?
So it's like half and half.
Okay.
So it's like I have some members of my family that chose that route of entrepreneurship.
Okay.
And then I have some who, of course, went the traditional route.
Okay.
And, they actually make a really good living. But I look at the amount of time that they have to put in.
Right.
And I was like, I don't want to be doing that.
Right,
20, 40 years. No,
years,
I don't
right.
want to plan.
Right. To get a quarter of the check.
Right.
60, right.
Exactly.
Okay, so I want to kind of get it. All right, so before we get into what I really want to talk about, we've had these conversations before prior about economics, and you seem to be on that. You understand how important economics is to our people. Why do you think we kind of miss that mark? I mean, as a community, I mean, we go out and vote in droves, we go out and do everything else in big numbers, but when it comes to financial literacy or talking about economics or just seeing things for what they are, I think a lot of times we get more spiritual, we get more emotional about things, opposed to seeing this is what it is.
Right.
Why do you think it's so hard for us to grasp the concept of how important financial literacy is?
I think it's hard for our culture is because, for one, we are not conditioned, to sit down and talk about money. That is one subject in which the African American community kind of like shies away from. And then you have to look at the system. Systems are designed to do what they do, but it's all in part to me of that individual, what they're instilling into, their family, into those future generations and such. But, and I'm glad that you said that because, yes, we will promote voting, we will promote movies, we will promote restaurants, we will even promote, spending up all our money on a trip.
Right.
But when it comes to money, we do not want to talk about it, and to me, with what I do now, it's so important because we've seen the numbers of the wealth gap. I mean, it's widening more than ever, and black debt, there's not going to be any, by the time, we get up there of old age. And it's almost like that now. The African American wealth in our communities, it's very, very low.
Right. Okay, so now let's get into this. You are big in the digital currency space, and what I love about it is you attacking it from a different standpoint as far as being your own bank. I think that alone should trigger somebody's mindset when they see I should want to be my own bank. And then as far as even myself, maybe the last couple of years, really digging in to finding out what the bank does, what role the bank plays, and you're pushing, let's be our own bank. You're also pushing it from the standpoint of just the way that society is going now. We're headed to a digital currency. We're kind of getting away from the dollar bill. So, kind of talk about how that started, how you kind of got into the digital currency space, and what do you see now for the future of our community and society?
Our community really needs to get it together, just point blank, period. Our community has to get it together, and I'll come back to what I was about to say. Okay. But anyway, so I got involved with the Be Your Own Bank movement last year. And it was a result, for one, when real estate, when things began to shift, and my son, his school closed because of Corona. Yes. I had to be home with him to homeschool, and I didn't know what I was doing. Right. And then I had my little one home as well. And so I would see, different individuals, around that time, everybody is looking like for a side hustle. Right. Yeah. The internet is flooded with opportunities. Yep. Right. And hey, I stumbled across, some pages or whatnot. One of the pages in particular is Ms. Tasha M. Dyer. Okay. So she is my mentor and my business success coach here in Jacksonville, Florida. Okay. And I came across her page, and I saw them talking about money and such. And I would just read her posts, but they were very, attention-getting. Okay. And so I asked her one day, I sent her an inbox, about the link because they were having a Zoom, but all I saw was be your own bank. And when I see that, hey, I need to know what's going on.
Right.
Yes, so I hit her up, she sent me the link, and that night, and it only took just one night, too.
Okay.
Mr. Stephen Hooley, who is the creator of the system that we use, which is called the vibrata, and I'll explain that later as well, too. I saw him, and he was just sitting laid back, comfortably in his chair, and he was just telling about, his life experiences and about how much freedom that he has now. And, about he's in control, of what goes on. Yes, of his day, and of his dollars, too. And just, how foreign currency, how tapping into that realm has changed his life. And he's young. So I'm like, if this young, guy talking, he's jet setting all over the world. I need to know exactly what is it that he's doing. But when I heard him tell his story, it was the story that got to me about, his family and such, and some personal issues. I was immediately like, sign me up. And, the rest is history from there. I was able to link up with Miss Dyer and also the visionary behind the movement. He's here in Jacksonville, too. Mr. Gerald D. Rogers. He's the visionary behind the movement. Yes.
It's funny because I think a lot of time we think we chasing money, but we really chasing time. What you really want is your time back. We all can chase money and be at work all day. But I'm trying to be able to be paid and be home, sleep in my lazy boy.
Absolutely.
Okay, so now for people that don't know, let's kind of break down, because you got Forex, you have Bitcoin, crypto, you have like you said, now the internet is flooded with all this different marketing, and I don't think people fully understand what's going on. Now, kind of explain exactly what it is you've gotten into as far as Forex, Bitcoin, crypto, whatever it is. Kind of explain to us exactly what it is that triggered your mind. You say, no, I'm going to do this and I'm going to get into this industry.
So, first things first is, when you hear be your own bank, you're like, oh, okay. It's intriguing to some, and some are skeptical, like, bank, what are they talking about? Illegal? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. What a lot of people don't know is that, the money that's sitting in their accounts right now, it is being traded. Constantly. Even when the banks is closed, they may be closed to us. However, currency never stops flowing. It just doesn't. And so, a lot of individuals, have these different types of accounts, check-ins, money market, CD accounts or so. But just think about, about all that money that flows to your personal bank account. How much is your bank truly paying you? And a lot of people, they can't answer it. It's like maybe a few cents or a dollar here, a dollar there, But you got to think about it. This is $1 trillion industry. This is the largest financial market. And so the currency that's flowing, this is our money that we have to work hard for. Doesn't it make sense? Say, hey, if the banks is going to compound and make money off my money, why shouldn't I make money off my money?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So it's just about learning a skill. You have to be serious in wanting to learn the why behind the what. If that makes any sense. Yeah.
So tell me kind of what you see now that the pandemic is hit. I think a lot of things have shifted. Online was already kind of taking over the world, and then when things got shut down, it became almost the only way to buy, sell. But now also our dollar. If you thought it was just something to talk about when the pandemic hit, crypto and all these things immediately became the topic of discussion. Tell me what you see in society, or as far as our community missing out on this shift that's going on. Because to me, I believe this is a major change going on. We don't see it. I think a lot of times we be kind of blinded by current events or whatever going on. But the people that's paying attention, the financially stable people, they paying attention to the market. They paying attention to the way currency is being traded. Tell me what you see coming within these next few years as far as our dollar and our currency.
Oh, look, the dollar's going to be gone, okay? I mean, the value, it just dropped again last week. So, I mean, the dollar, I definitely do think that it's going to be of non-existence.
Right.
Digital currency, it has taken over. I mean, not sure if you've even been up the street here to this gas station. This gas station up here has a Bitcoin.
Oh, yeah. The Bitcoin ATM.
The Bitcoin ATM.
Okay. Yeah.
And I went downtown to Harvey's. They have a Bitcoin cryptocurrency machine.
Okay.
So it's like, okay, people aren't seeing this. These are clues. It's time to evolve with what's going on. Because if you don't evolve with the times, then you're going to get left behind.
Right.
Definitely.
Right.
And I mean, our government even participates in cryptocurrency and digital currency. And what most individuals don't realize is that the stimulus that everybody was so happy about, that last year, that $1,200 or whatever it was, when they gave that out, well, also in that bill that passed, it was a bill that's also written in there that gives our government the right to own cryptocurrency. So that's a clue.
Right.
Success leaves clues, as they say.
Right.
It's not cliche,
Right.
that's true.
Right.
So, hey, if you want to, embrace it or not, it's happening.
Right.
We see around town in some stores, that there are coin shortages.
Right.
Well, the Fed is running out of money to print it,
Right.
And so, it is what it is. You have cities like Miami that's paying, they're giving their workers, the option to be paid in cryptocurrency. You have athletes that are now taking cryptocurrency, as a form of payment or so. Yes, it's real.
It's coming.
It's real.
It's crazy because it's like when they talk about a stimulus, they can hide so much in the stimulus bill because we don't ask any questions after we know how much we getting. We want to know how much we get and when we. It don't matter what they do. All the fine print that's in that bill, we have no idea what's in it. All we wondering is where's our $1,200?
Exactly.
And they just sold us up the river.
Exactly. And that's what's happening. That is what's happening.
In the whole bill.
Listen, whoever is watching, y'all better wake up. Y'all better read these bills that these congressmen y'all are voting for. Y'all need to read these bills because it is some things that are in there. It's going to affect future generations to come. Yes, I won't get on a political rant, but I'm just saying.
I got you.
Yes.
So, just recently you celebrated your bank anniversary.
Woohoo! Yes.
So, for those that don't know, explain to them what the bank anniversary is and how people can one day be celebrating their own bank anniversary.
So what a bank anniversary is, I just made that up. I was just out there in Las Vegas just having fun. I just made it up. But that's my 1 year, anniversary to myself for being a part of the Be Your Own Bank movement, helping educate and empower other individuals and families all around the world. And, since just in 1 year alone, I mean, business has expanded into international territories. So God is blessed me to have customers and business partners, in Canada now, and even down in Trinidad and Tobago, so I'm very, very excited about that. And of course, my nationally people as well too. But just to be able to expand overseas and into Europe, it's a true blessing. And when you just look at, what you put in is what you're going to get out. And I put in a lot of, late nights and really early mornings, for that London session. That's where the money is at. But we'll talk about that another time. Yes, when you invest into yourself and your education, God has a way of truly, truly blessing you. And, no, I haven't been doing real estate because, that bank anniversary, it's a mark of me having that freedom, that 1 year mark of having that freedom, being able to be in control of my dollars, and I can do what I want and when I want, and wherever I want, So if I have to go clock in on a job right now, I would be balling in the tears because I'm unemployable.
Right. They can't pay you enough.
They can't.
They
cannot pay me enough. I know what my worth is, and when you hear people get excited, over $15 an hour. I mean, what's that, 25 cents a minute or something like that?
They jump up.
Yeah.
And I don't think people sit back and be like, I work, and then after an hour, they finna give me $15. They don't think about it like that.
They don't think about it like that.
They don't think about it like that.
They don't, because that's gone.
That's gone.
It is gone. So, being able to celebrate, 1 year of total freedom, financial freedom too, it's a blessing.
It's crazy as we talk about these stimulus checks, and then you brought up the $15 an hour. I don't know if people even understand the ramifications that come with, number one, all these stimulus checks coming out, right? So when you see milk is $6 a gallon, you have to know that's a direct effect. And now they're trying to push minimum wage up to $15 an hour. Well, I tell you, if McDonald's gonna pay the fry guy $15 an hour, then fries got to go up to $5. You know what I'm saying? You know, to offset what's going on. I don't, because a lot of time we kind of miss these, like you say, it's always clues.
It is.
And we seem to miss them. So me, a random person, I've just got fired from my job, and I come to you, Ms. Clayton, I want to celebrate a bank anniversary 1 year next year. What do you do? What do you tell me from that point?
Oh, we're definitely gonna have a conversation. We are going to have a conversation. You want to have a bank anniversary just like I am? What I'm going to ask you is, you know, are you personally ready?
Right.
To have more than what you currently have, or are you sick and tired of being sick and tired? You know, are you ready to accept the challenge to become your own bank?
Right.
Talk
talk about that because I don't know. People don't understand how much of a mindset shift that has happened. We all want more money. We all want more freedom, but it takes a mindset shift because you have to be disciplined.
Oh yeah.
Talk about what that transition was like when you was like, you know what, I'm gonna go down here, but now I got to mentally say, this is the route I'm going.
Woo, it's a big mindset shift, a huge one. I must say to it that, you know, success basically, you know, is 99% mental. 1% is the rest. So when you get to that, or, you know, when you decide, okay, this is what I want to do, you need to invest into yourself. You're definitely going to change your mindset. It comes through, you know, reading, through prayer, through meditation, affirmations. And this is not, you know, just that ordinary baloney that I'm up here speaking about. This is the real deal. You know, my mentor, he has coached over 30,000 other entrepreneurs to success, and they're top money earners. So I do exactly what he tells me to do. And it's all in, you know, changing your mindset. You cannot have, you know, a wealthy mindset or want to have one, but you still have this broke and scarce mentality. Because those two don't mix. And another thing, you know, be prepared to be lonely. Because it does start to get lonely up at the top. I thought that was just a saying too, but true. I'm experiencing it. It's lonely.
So you lose those friends, you lose those hangout partners.
You lose them. Because I'm not going to go out and get broke with y'all. No. We're talking about generational wealth. I'm not up here just thinking of stuff just to say to make it sound cute. No, this is life. And I want different, you know. I want for my children to outproduce me. I want for your kids to outwork and outproduce me. You know, that's just, you know, how I am. So mentally, hey, you definitely have to be prepared, and you definitely have to have a coach or a mentor.
What are some of the things you run into when you hear people say, well, I want to be financially free, I want to do this, but then you kind of see that they're not as sincere, or maybe they're not ready to put in the work that they think they're ready to put in? What's some of the common factors you see when people say they want to do it? But
I definitely, you know, take a look at actions. Yeah. Because if you can't, you know, do something as simple, you know, as give me your phone number, you know, so we can have a conversation, or, you know, you just don't show up, hey, it's over. Just like with a job interview, it's over. There's nothing else to talk about. You know, so
you can't handle the free stuff.
You got to be prepared. You have to be prepared. Yeah, no freebies. No, none of that. No. So, you know, one definitely needs to make sure that they are, you know, mentally prepared. You know, also, when I say invest into yourself, yes, you're going to need to invest into your education, but you're going to need to be putting some dollars behind marketing. And just, you know, developing yourself and a brand, too, and stuff. You know, because you give people what they want, there's your money right there. You give people value, there's your money right there.
They say if you build it, they'll come.
They'll come. Exactly.
They'll come. You haven't and you haven't strayed away from the generational wealth. I see you always have your son involved. Kind of talk about that. What is that like? Because coming up, we didn't have those financial teachers.
No.
You know, we it was straight go to school and we learned how to do everything else except make money or provide value. We knew to go to work. Kind of talk about what was that like when you knew you were going to go that route and you said, okay, well, I want to take my children with me. I want them to already be on this path as they enter in adulthood.
Wow, I would have to say like last year, you know, even though I was, you know, a real estate agent or so, I was just like, you know, I don't know if my kids want to do anything like this, you know, because anything that if you have to leave your house to do it, you're basically working for somebody or you just owning a job, you know, and I just compare, you know, what I'm doing now and then versus what I used to do. I'm like, I don't want for my kids, you know, to have to just waste all these years trying to find out what it is that they exactly want. So for him, the smell of Cash App kid right there, I know y'all see him.
The Cash App,
For him, last year, and I would have to say June or July is when I started to teach him the markets and the strategies. He began to learn because of the academy that I have access to. So he began to learn and he began to sit in on some of the calls from our finance doctor and from our trade whisperer and such. And he was just like fascinated when he saw my real account one day. I didn't want him to see it, but he saw it. He was like, oh my gosh, I can do that.
Right.
And so, you know, I had sit him and his little brother down and I showed him, you know, like, okay, this is where you go in for a buy or for a sell and, you know, just showed them some basics, and he grasps on very fast. And when he started, you know, to, I don't want to say play with it, but, I mean, he was practicing. So when he began practicing in a demo account and he began to see how his money can compound, he got super excited. And so, like, now he knows how to trade.
On his own.
Exactly. He's learned a skill set. He's 12 now, but at 11 years old, he learned a skill set. And I just look at, and he knows it too, he's going to have options in life. He's not even nowhere near 18, but he can decide right now if he wants to go out and get a job or not, you know. And he just celebrated a birthday, and, you know, because of what he's learned, because of what I've learned important to him, you know, he was able to choose anywhere he wanted to go for his birthday as well. You know, and do what he wanted to do and such, you know, and he had a really good time. And so now he's understanding. I mean, sometimes in the morning times I get up. If he gets up before me, I'll hear Bloomberg going off. Bloomberg TV from his room. So, you know, he's very in tune, you know, with what's going on, you know, within our economics these days and also within the political arena because, I mean, hey,
they go hand in hand.
It really does, you know. So, hey, just a tidbit for y'all. Politics. But anyways.
and people don't know. I mean, you're right. I once again, and I think that was one of the things we talked about when we first talked to that. Man, we'll get so wrapped up in politics and just don't know they paid.
I know.
Every one of them paid.
I know.
Every one of them paid. Every time they come out, whether it's the one you like or the one you don't like. Somebody paying them, somebody in their back pocket, and they get up and wave and kiss a baby, and we just like, it's like we praise and worship. We worship the ground they walk on, man.
Yes,
I'm
Lord.
Like, man. You know, one thing I like about what you talked about is mindset, right? And we've been in this pandemic maybe a year now, year and some months. And if you let mainstream media tell you, everybody lost a house, everybody lost a car, everybody's depressed. But then there's a group of people who changed their they allowed it to change their life. It either catapulted them into something they've been talking about doing, something they had started and stopped. Like what's some of the things you've seen? Because like I said, I try to stay away from the news. And the more I stay away from the news, the more I see it's the total opposite of what they telling us.
It is because, you know, it's all in what side you want to be on. You want to be on the left side or you want to be on the right side. You know, because you have one demographic of people, you know, that's totally unbothered by what's going on.
Ain't even moved a bit.
Not moved at all. Hey, economically unbothered. Like, for real. And then you have another end of the spectrum where you have people that's getting hyped off of, stimulus money and, oh my gosh, what, PPP? Yeah. That too and stuff, but whatever, because that's just a Band-Aid.
Right.
That's it. That's all it is, just a Band-Aid. Because what happens when all that money is gone? That's why you have to know how to be a wise steward of what you have. Multiply your money like the banks do. That is what you want to do. And that's very important. I'm glad that you mentioned that because how can I say it? This 5% thing. You have 5% of the population that is totally unbothered by what's going on. And it's all because, hey, you have people that made a decision. They made a decision that they wanted to make a change within their lives or within their communities or so. I posted up on Facebook in one of my stories, I'm not sure if you saw it, the difference between a Lamborghini and a bus. Why does a Lamborghini have two seats and a bus have 30? Right. Everybody can't go with you, and that's where the majority of people are. They are stuck on that bus, because of mindset, because of what has been conditioned in their minds, but you have to be the one to stand up and decide, okay, I'm going to be that change agent for my family, or I'm going to be that one, for my community. And a lot of people have made some major moves during this pandemic, some major moves. So it's like, okay, either you decide you're going to sit there and wallow around in self-pity and what the government is or is not doing, or either you get up and you do something about it. And I just chose to get up and do something about it. And my life changed.
I try to say, and because I know a lot of times, the word owner or boss or entrepreneurship, sometimes we run away with it. And I always try to tell people, I don't believe everybody should be a business owner. I do believe everybody should have more than one stream of income though.
I agree.
I think if anything, that's the most important part, that you have some kind of cash flow that is happening when you're not there, when you sleep, when you wherever, So you talked about earlier the circle. How hard do you think that is for people? Because it is crazy, because 99% of the time everybody around you ain't, their mind ain't shifting to what yours is. But if you remain around those people, ultimately you're going to dummy your own self down, because you're going to try to stay on the level that they're on, because they're not elevating with you. How hard or how important do you think that is when you make the mindset shift? I'm gonna do this. Being prepared anyway to have to get rid of everybody around you if you have to.
It wasn't hard for me at all.
Okay.
No, it was not, because look,
straight to business.
Yeah, straight to business. I don't want to be like everybody.
Right.
Absolutely not. Nope.
Right.
So it was not hard for me at all. I was already, at a point in my life to where I was riding,
right. Okay.
So my circle started to change then, but now it's really done changed, because yes, real estate agents, can make a lot of money, your brokers can as well too. But when you tap into a $12.6 trillion a day industry,
the conversation is different.
It's totally different.
It
is totally different.
Yes. Yeah, you gotta start talking. You gotta start talking to certain people.
Yes, some people you cannot have conversations with, and it's just like, I don't know. I love you, but I gotta go.
I gotta go, and I'll see you on the other side. Well, before you go, I want to know. So, where can people, if they ready to learn, they want to be coached by you, or they just want you to kind of point them in the right direction? Where would they go to find you?
So, if you are coachable, or if you are ready to learn a skill set that is going to allow you to place yourself and your family, or whoever you know, love, and care about on the other side of money, you can follow me on Instagram at Danielle J. Clayton. Once again, Instagram, Danielle J. Clayton. And also on Facebook. My Facebook name, it is Danielle Clayton. Yes, so that is how you can find me.
Well, I sure appreciate you, Miss Clayton.
Not a problem.
The financial queen. I mean, always hustling, and I love it. I love it. I love it because I think it's important. You talked about, kind of talk about the trip you went on the other day, pips and trips.
Oh, pips and trips.
Talk about that, and kind of tell the people because you was letting them know I ain't pay for it. That
That's right.
passive income, baby.
Yes.
So talk about it.
Passive income. I'm telling you guys, you need to have passive income. It needs to be some type of a stream of revenue for you guys. Seriously. I mean, you want the money to just be flowing. I mean, if you don't have passive income at this point, hey, you definitely need to reach out to me. But anyways, pips and trips. You know, pips pay my bills too. I like to say that a lot. You know, skill set, you know, and just because I've been able, you know, to learn and sit at some of the best of the best, you know, within this industry and really master my own skill set, you know, I don't have to, I can get up and book a flight, you know, whenever I feel like it, you know, I can take my kids with me. He's virtual school, you know, so.
Right. We're on the plane learning.
We're on the plane learning, he was in the hotel learning last week, you know. Pips and trips, you know, that's just like my journey of, you know, being able to be financially free, and I'm just like going all to these different places, and that's what I'm doing. This summer is going to be my summer, but I don't even want to limit it to a season because that's not what freedom is about. You know, so hey, I'm going to Mexico, you know, in a few months. You know, I'm going somewhere else next month. You know, so it's just about me being able to be free, but yet I can still have my money coming in at the same time.
It's funny you say that, like, because we live for the weekend.
Oh my gosh.
It's almost like Friday is heaven and then Sunday is back.
I know.
So we really don't even have a whole 48 hours to enjoy it.
You don't have enough time to enjoy life. You don't. Because you get happy when Friday comes, but then a few hours later you probably get mad because you have all those bills to pay. Saturday,
as soon as you got paid, the money gone.
It's gone. And now Sunday is here, and you dreading going to work.
You dread, but I'm telling you.
I love Sunday. Sunday is when the market opens. Hey,
I'm telling you, So trying to make it a normal day. So one more thing I got some before you go. I'm sorry. So tap into networking, and you spoke to that multiple times. Being at the right table with the right people, being on the phone, having the right conversations. How much of a role has networking played in your success opposed to the actual knowledge? What's networking like, and how important has that been? And
very important. I love networking. That's why I'm so glad the world is opening back up. I know we still have to be careful. Please be careful, everyone. But, you know, I love networking. I mean, before, you know, Corona, I mean, I was always, you know, going to a networking event. But you also want to make sure that it's worth your time. Because not everything, you know, deserves your time. And not everyone deserves your time. So, you know, you definitely want to be mindful of that. But I love networking. I love, you know, meeting new people and just forming those relationships because, you know, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter, you know, like how much, you know, one may have. You know, relationships are important because there may come a time in which you may need me or I may need you for something. You know, you just don't know. And, you know, so that's why I do believe, you know, networking and building those genuine relationships with people is very, very important.
Okay. Well, I sure appreciate you.
Thank you.
For coming through.